Of all the stuff I've gone through in my life, eating out of trash cans, sleeping in abandoned buildings. The worst thing that ever happened is when I went to the hospital and they told me my wife had a chronic illness and she might not be able to walk one day. People say, E.T., ask CJ, it never broke me. Why? Because I've been broken so much. I've been defeated so much. I've been disappointed so much in my life that I know what it feels like and I can handle it.
And I'll tell you another thing. It's not even from the military. Like, the military requires discipline, obviously. But there's plenty of people in the military that don't have it, right? And many people lose their discipline when they leave the military because it's not being imposed on them anymore. So, I mean, just go look around. I mean, being in the military does not make you a disciplined person. Being from a disciplined family does not make you a disciplined person. Being in a disciplined group does not make you a disciplined person. What makes you a disciplined person is choosing to be disciplined. So, yeah, and also as far as telling people to man up, which, you know, when someone says, how do I get up early every day? I say, get up early every day. How do I stop eating sugar? Stop eating sugar. If that's the definition of man up, but obviously it's not just men that need discipline in their lives. I don't think I use that term, but what I do tell people is to get after it. That's what I tell people, to get after it. I tell people to do the things that they know they're supposed to do.
He said, son, you have busted up the subclavian artery in your chest. You're bleeding internally. We have to rush you back. Take the main vein out of your left leg, plug it into your chest in order to save your life. When I opened my eyes from recovery, the same doctor was over me. He said, son, had some good news and some bad news for you. I said, you got some bad news for me? After telling me I was about to die, I'm still alive. How bad can it get? I'm still here. He said, the good news is we saved your life. I said, thank you, sir. He said, the bad news is, Ink, you have nerve damage in your right shoulder. I said, okay, cool. He said, but son, it's a strong possibility that you probably can never play the game of football again in your life. I said, no way. I said, no disrespect to you, doc, but I've been working for this ever since I was 7 years old. I said, no disrespect to you, doc, but you wasn't in the park with me and my mother. And I was 7 years old and she was sitting in that Buick Regal after she got done working at Wendy's. No disrespect to you, doc, but you didn't come up in that 2-bedroom home, 14 people sleeping on the floor. No disrespect to you, doc, but you didn't miss those meals and stay focused and never made an excuse. I never cheated.
I refuse to lose. I refuse to give up. Some people like to give up on a lot of things. Some people like to just give up and quit. Quitting is easy. I don't believe in quitting. I don't believe in submitting to things that don't have control of my life. Losing, that's easy for some people because they don't believe in themselves. Giving up, that's easy because that's the easiest way to get out of things. Making excuses, oh, that's the best thing that most people enjoy more than anything. You hold on to excuses like it's a teddy bear. And that's not the way you want to be. I, myself, I'm never going to give excuses to satisfaction. I'm never going to give my competition the satisfaction. Because the greatest competition is you. So you want to give up? You want to quit? You really want to lose. And then when you lose, you start blaming people.
It didn't happen to me at 19. It didn't happen to me at 20. It didn't happen to me at 30. It happened to me at 40. After I had been through all the pressure I thought I could go through. Life said, you finished with all the pressure? I said, yeah. I said, let's bring on the heat. And then when I went through the pressure and the heat, y'all, I thought it was over. The Creator said, now you ready to get cut? You said you wanted to be great, son. You said you wanted to travel the world. You said you wanted to help people, inspire them. listen to me very closely if you've ever studied the diamond. Once it goes through that type of pressure and it finally becomes a diamond, at that point, you can't break it no more. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Once you get to that point, you cannot be broken anymore. And the only way they can tell if a diamond is a diamond or if it's fake is by applying pressure is how they tell. They don't just look at it. You think it's just looking at the thing like I looked in the thing. They'll just bring it here, put it on some glass. Okay, it's real.
Right? There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are going to improve your life. Do those things. There's things that you know are going to make you a worse person and make your life worse. Don't do those things. Don't do the things that are making you weaker. Start doing the things that are going to make you stronger and smarter and faster and healthier and going to make you a better human being. And I'll say the same thing to this guy. You want to be more disciplined? Get after it. That's it. Get up early. Do some kind of workout. Eat good foods. Clean your room. Make a list of things that you're supposed to do in your life, and then wake up in the morning and do those things that you put on the list. That's what discipline is. And no, it is not easy. But you're not going to get it from anyone else but you. And it's worth it. And it is the thing that is going to bring you freedom.
I never cheated. Like my conscience still until this day won't let me, like I can't cheat. I can't look myself in the mirror and say, Ink, you did a good job knowing that I cheated. I can't cheat. One of the greatest pieces of advice that my mother gave me was this: son, whenever you start, you make sure you finish. And the problem with the world today, people get involved with things, and if they don't like a certain person, if they don't like the process, if it's not what they thought it was, they quit. And what they don't understand about quitting becomes a habit that doesn't just affect you. Later on in life, when you get a wife, when you get some kids, or you get a family, it's going to come back to hunt you, and it will one day affect them. That is why I tell you the process is more important than the product. It's not even about the outcome for me. It's about, can you take pride in what you do as an individual, and every night when you look in the mirror, knowing that you gave everything you had to it.
When all you had to do was give it everything you had within yourself. For me, you can't beat me. I'll beat myself before I let someone else beat me. Does it sound like I'm overconfident? Does it sound like that I know more than you know? No, I know me better than you know me. I know what I'm capable of. Question is, do you know what you're capable of? Do you realize that the greatest challenges that you face in life, if you can adapt and overcome those challenges, oh my, wow. Isn't that amazing? That's all you can get from me. Wow. how explosive that is. Competition? There is no competition. It's only you. You're your greatest challenge. You can also be your greatest enemy.
So I'm being honest with you. I'm not giving you the 7 principles to. I'm trying to tell you the very first thing I want to tell you before we go through the principles. It's going to be a dog fight. And if you soft, this ain't that you want to get out now. This is where you like, I quit. But if you're willing to say, I'm not going to quit, I guarantee you whatever success you want to have, you're going to have it. All right, so here's number 1. I apologize. It took a long time to get to number 1. Number 1, Denzel Washington. You must be very intentional and deliberate. You must be very intentional and deliberate. The stuff that you wrote down on that piece of paper is not going to happen by osmosis. You're not going to wake up one day and find a law degree. You're not just going to walk out of your house. There it is with my name on it. I'm a doctor now. It suddenly appeared. It's not going to work like that. If you're married, it's not going. If you're married, I promise you. I've been married over 26 years. If you're going to have a good relationship, you're going to have to work for it.